somebody would be on board, but that doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Irmo is all about dreams and desires.
Right.
So Irmo's not grounded in what really happens. He's grounded in what could happen. He's the guy of possibilities and everything. So he's not going to tell you, no, you can't do that. He's going to be like, yeah, that could happen. That could totally be a thing. That's just
because
how he operates.
It may be that he really doesn't, his grasp of reality is more about the possibilities rather than what's, is that kind of what you're going for?
Yeah.
Like, to him, what really is and what could be aren't necessarily different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, of all the Valar, he would be the one to exist most in the realm of possibility versus what do we actually have on the ground here. Which possibly means he retains a good memory of the music because he remembers how things go, maybe. But he's not going to shoot down someone's idea.
Right.
He's not going to be like, oh, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
He's not going to say you can't. He might say you shouldn't, but he's not going to say you can't.
Yes. Karina says, Tulkas is enthused. Sounds legit. And hey, you're good at making stuff, Ale. What does Nessa say? Well, they specifically took Nessa as the one who said, maybe you should go and talk to Yavanna about this.
Mm-hmm.
Ale totally does not want to do.
Right. Run this by your wife.
Because, again, Yavanna's somebody who, if she nixes the idea, he's probably not going to be able to feel okay doing it. It's not like he has to do what she says, but if these people tell him, no, that's a terrible idea, he might be okay just going through with it anyway. If Yavanna says, no, that's a terrible idea, he's probably not going to do it. You know, he's really kind of going to people whose opinions don't really matter.
Right.
Maybe?
Yeah. It's very intentionally an odd group he's having this conversation with.
Right.
These aren't people we've seen him talking with before.
Right.
Much.
Yeah.
Which is not entirely true, because right before the decision to go see Melkor, it was Manwë, Ale, Orome, Tulkas, and Irmo.
Yeah.
So those five. So that's actually most of who we still have here.
Yeah.
Leaving out Manwë.
Yes.
Huh. Funny how we left that one out.
It's important. It's an important distinction. Karina says he wouldn't outright go against her Yavanna's advice, but doing it when she's out and about, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's avoiding Manwë, he's avoiding Varda, and he's avoiding Yavanna.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's. Is he specifically avoiding Olmo, or do you think...
Olmo's easy to avoid.
Well, Olmo is totally easy to avoid. I'm just saying, like, would he worry about saying something like this in front of Olmo?
Yeah, because... Well, we've seen Ale and Olmo be on opposite sides of things in the past, but the last place we left them was in total agreement that Melkor is an issue. So... He's probably not avoiding Olmo at this point. He probably thinks Olmo would totally be on his side for this one. But they don't need to bother talking about it.
Yeah. But we know that Olmo, as the big picture guy, probably wouldn't be on board with this at all.
We know that. But Ole's probably convinced himself that he would be.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that in his mind, he needs to avoid Yavanna, who might stop him. He needs to avoid Manwë, who might stop him. He's probably not thinking, I have to stay away from Olmo, who might stop me, so much as, well, I'll talk to Olmo after I'm finished.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. It'll be totally fine.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the forums, hang on. Karita says Yavanna presumably does not check in with Ale every time she makes something, so Ale isn't betraying her trust in a big way. No, he's... So that, and again, that's how he rationalized it. Even though this is a big deal and he really should talk to somebody who matters about it. He isn't necessarily betraying Yavanna's trust, and that's kind of how he's rationalizing not talking to her. He's like, well, I mean, she doesn't check in with me every time she makes a mouse. This isn't a mouse.
Well, did she run her idea for the 2 trees by Ole? No, she did not. She ran it by Deanna.
Mm-hmm.
So, from that point of view, Yavanna did her big thing all by herself without Ole.
That's true, but it's not.
So he might feel that he's justified here.
Right. Yeah.
Not, but he feels like he is.
Yeah. So Nessa is the one who says, well, you know what? You should really talk to Yavanna about that. That sounds like something that would be, something she could be very helpful with. She just made those awesome trees that are lighting our world and didn't kill anybody.
Unlike your lamps.
You wouldn't say that. That would never happen. But, so... Do we go from there to Aule's secret underground workshop?
We do, but real quick, are we going to bother establishing why all those people are hanging out in Lorien, or are they just literally hanging out in Lorien and we have a conversation?
I think it might be like some of the last few Maiar who were healing up from the destruction of the lamps might be being released. Maybe.
I thought we kind of mostly healed them as soon as the trees.
No, you're right.
But would anyone else have been hurt lately in Aussie's destruction?
That's a possibility. Yeah.
And if so, they were probably Ole's people because they were probably trying to take care of the coastline and everything.
But that doesn't give Nessa and Tulkas and Orome.
Well, maybe there was various people who were hurt. Maybe, Orome's favorite horse got hurt. I don't know.
How are Nessa and Orome related? Are they brother and sister?
Maybe. I feel like she's his younger sister. Yeah. Wait. In one version, Orome is the kid of
Yavanna and Ole.
Yeah. So it's not that version. I think Nessa is Orome's younger sister.
That sounds about right. Karita has said a couple of things. Sorry, Karita. His mistake isn't just what he's doing, but why he's doing it, and his desire to hide, to avoid good advice, etc. And it is a lovely place to hang out, Lorien is. Yes, it is.
I agree. I'd hang out in the gardens of Lorien, given half a chance. It was this is an interesting group to bring all together, so if there was a reason for them to be there, that might...
I don't think we could come up with a reason for all of them to be there at the same time, so I feel like we might be better just happenstance.
Okay. We need a reason for any of them to be there? Okay, yeah, because Ole is coming there to seek out people who aren't going to shoot him down.
Right.
So he has an excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can have them show up into the conversation. They don't have to all be talking, have to show up and circle at the same time and have a conversation. We can have Orome walk up separately. We can have Nessa and Nulkus. Telsa. We can have them walk up together. Oh no, I'm doing it.
Nessa can be teaching a dance to all of Lorien's people, and Focus is there to help.
Sure, why not? Varway.
No. One thing, you can't really start doing that because you start getting other names.
Yes, you do. Vaname. Anyway, I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. So we get their conversation. different people approach. So, do we have initially Aloe going to Lorien? That's a little weird.
I'm sorry, what?
Do we have initially Aloe going to Lorien? Because that's his to Irmo? Because, I mean, he came to Lorien, so there's got to be some kind of...
Yes. Again, of all the Valar, who's least likely to say, no, you can't do that?
Yeah. Okay.
Irmo. So he's always sought out Irmo to start the conversation. Also, Irmo's the dreams guy. He might have some inclination of how things are supposed to go in Middle Earth. You know, he's not like visionary, but still, he's someone you'd look for that kind of, I'm trying to map out my future.
Yeah. And maybe as new people approach the conversation, we can see a little bit of discomfort on Aloe's part.
Yeah. Yeah. That he started out a one-on-one conversation that grew into, hey, let's all talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm okay with that. I guess I didn't want to like cut to a council of the Valar already in progress.
Yeah, no.
With half the Valar hanging in a garden. Like,
why is this happening?
Yeah, like what is this? And again, Elrond gets to start the story. His voiceover could totally make sense of everything. I just wanted to know what we're looking at.
Okay.
All right, so, but yeah, moving along back to Ole's workshop. Let's build some dwarves.
Okay. So when Alex was here last week, he brought up the very good point of having some kind of physical manifestation of what we're talking about, of the dwarves needing to be strong to endure and to be resistant to corruption, blah 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 blah. And I thought about Marvel. I know you watched this stuff, so I don't know why I'm saying this again, but to me, Marvel is a fantastic medium. It's fantastic for carving statues.
It makes really pretty statues.
Clearly, because everybody does it. But it's a metamorphic mineral that's made from putting limestone under a great deal of heat and pressure.
Yes.
Which sounds like it makes perfect sense, especially since we know that the dwarves, yes, it had to do with the masks, but the dwarves seem to have a particular resistance to fire.
Yeah, if you're going to fight a dragon, you fight them with dwarves, apparently.
Yes.
Kind of.
And yes, there's the whole...
Doesn't usually end very well for the dwarves.
There's the whole, they were wearing special armor with face masks, and so they were able to resist the fire of Glaurung. And the dwarves are why we have Greek statues? Yes, probably. Yeah, absolutely. But if you're in armor and heat is applied, it's going to get a little toasty inside. Pygmalion, anyone?
Well, yeah, I
don't know what that is.
I think that Pygmalion is a good model for what's happening in this episode. He's the one who carved himself a wife.
Okay.
He carved his... The goddess Venus is involved, but basically he had some issue about
Pinocchio, but even more creepy. It's like Pinocchio, but more creepy.
Oh, definitely more creepy, because his whole deal is he had some hang up with the female form. So yeah, as Krita says, he made the ideal woman of stone and then fell in love with her. And then the statue came to life.
That is creepy.
Yeah, just a little. But there was a bet and there were some goddesses, and there were things going on in the story, and
there were things, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the play, the musical My Fair Lady, is based on a play called Pygmalion.
Interesting.
So I think it's George Bernard Shaw wrote it. So the idea of, do you know the story of My Fair Lady?
Yeah.
Yes. So he's teaching her how to talk and pass herself off as upper class when she's really a flower seller.
Yeah.
Well, he creates this Duchess level character and sends her out into the world. And in the process of teaching her all this stuff, he falls in love with her. And she's like, what do I need you for? Now that I've got all these skills, I can go meet anybody.
Yeah.
So it kind of blows him off, and he's devastated. So
a consort battleship. Yes.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
It does.
Which is not true, but the trains in Spain run mainly on the plain.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense. Creed says, so this story is just a creepy, misunderstood version of Owle's story.
Yes, exactly. Ollie's version is so much
I
less
can sing it to end, this musical. Unfortunately, I probably can too. I have 3 younger sisters who used to watch musicals like that back to back to back to back to back.
Aw, it's cute. It's so creative.
I know.
I try not to sing when people can hear me. but
so
moving back to Ollie, the point is that there is a creepy element to making yourself some puppets, whether it's the Pinocchio story or Pygmalion or whatever, because the desire to create something other than yourself is only half there, because you actually create something that is completely subject to your own will.
Right.
So you created a slave, not a independent creature, and that's the key deal with Ollie's story. So that's there in this and in Pinocchio. Yeah. But Pinocchio becomes a real boy and gets away from the strings, and all that.
So okay? So my wife is watching Daredevil in the next room. So if you hear loud explosions and people yelling, that's what that is.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't feedback from my side.
No. So so we show him going into his workshop. We have the prototype statue standing there, maybe still made out of limestone. The statue that will become Doran.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so then we do like a little montage, little vignette.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a montage so much as we're going to be playing music in the background while Ollie does stuff on screen.
That's a montage.
No, but montage is cut from one scene to another a lot. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna do, I don't know. Maybe we will cut. I don't know.
All right. So, but we see him putting. Karita says, "Are we okay with not clay? It's too brittle. Not earth, too soft. Wood of marble. These children will be strong to resist fire and temptation." Speech. I think that we can do that when we're making the additional dwarves.
Mm. Yeah, the first one should be fairly silent, but when he starts teaching Durin,
right,
then he can explain all that.
Right, so he makes Durin, and as he's carving Durin, he becomes more dwarf-like, which I think is fantastic. I don't remember whose idea that it was, but I think it's great that he becomes more humanoid-looking. Because I mean, he's humanoid-ish, but like he becomes more humanoid-looking as he's carving the dwarves. Perhaps less stylized and more featured.
Well, I think the idea was that he was supposed to have like stone-like.
Yeah.
Like not quite like a rock monster, but
like stone-like texture to his skin and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So his skin would start to smooth out a bit.
Right. And so he finishes carving Durin, and he kind of like does that thing that